Draft needs. We started this yesterday, and we had it all planned out. 8 shows that Chris was going to be on between now and the week of the draft. So we're going to do one division a day, and he goes and gets sick on the second day of doing the draft needs. So you get to do the AFC West draft needs, and this is very simple. We look at each team, Devin, and the question is, or the statement is, that the team cannot emerge from the process without addressing what? We've been talking Raiders. Let's stay Raiders. 2025 Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll, Tom Brady, John Spytek, Mark Davis. They cannot leave the draft without addressing what?
Weapons for Geno Smith. You bring in Geno Smith. You have Max Crosby on defense. You have a defense that, honestly, they played pretty well last year and they kept them in games. But why not go and get a running back or a wide receiver? You draft early, maybe Gentry's still there, and you get this dynamic running back. I don't know, whatever they prioritize, whether it is having a running back that can help the quarterback out, or it's a receiver. It's another threat to go out there. You had Devontae Adams. That didn't work out. So just having somebody else that when we kind of line this thing up, we say, hey, we went and got our quarterback. We got Max Crosby back. We paid Christian Wilkins a year or two ago. Like, we got these big name guys. Let's put it together and have some people to throw the ball to. Bowers was incredible last year. Let's get some more help to that offense if we're going to have a shot to compete in this AFC West. That, to me, is what they have to walk away. They have to walk away happy and kind of excited that they're going to see this new weapon in the offense, very similar to the way we saw Brock Bowers last year.
They are the betting favorites to take Boise State running back Ashton Genty. That would be with the 6th overall pick, unless they would trade down a few and get him. Raheem Mostert is currently the starting running back. He's a guy who's in his 30s. He can still play, but he's not the guy you build around for the future. And, hey, they've got Brock Bowers, foundational piece, generational tight end, has shattered all the records for rookies last year with a revolving door of not great quarterbacks. Imagine what he can do with Geno Smith. But the receivers, my God, I'm looking at the depth chart. Okay, Jacoby Myers is the one name that we all know. Trey Tucker, Ramel Caton. I follow this stuff every day. Yeah. I ain't never heard of him. I never heard of that guy. I know I probably have at some point, but that's a starting receiver right now for the Las Vegas Raiders. Christian Wilkerson, Alex Bachman, Tyreek McAllister. They need guys who can play receiver at a high level. They traded Devontae Adams, obviously. They've got Brock Bowers. They need running back and receiver. The problem is a lot of other teams do, including teams in their division, Devin. And the cupboard is so bare for the Raiders right now relative to the teams they're competing with. This is why we were saying earlier, you've got unfinished business, but the business is going to be a hell of a lot harder to finish with the Raiders and the Seahawks relative to your competition. They have a lot of holes they got to fill. They don't have enough draft picks to do it.
And that always becomes an issue, because the key to this is, all right, whoever you take with the number 6 pick, like, that's great. You need them to work out. Brock Bowers last year worked out. But it's the other picks that you need to turn into. You need to be able to possibly take a running back or a receiver later, second or third round, that becomes a guy that is a baller, that can play. Like, that's the key when we look at all of these teams that when we look up in a few years, we're like, damn, they're pretty good. It's because they draft guys not just in the first round, but later in the draft that turn into really good football players. So that's what the Raiders are going to need to do. You just said it. They need a running back and they need a receiver. I don't know, whoever they value that's there at 6, that makes more sense. And I don't know if they think about, how do we trade back and we get 2 first-round picks and there's 2 guys we love. Like, I don't know what that looks like for Spytek and how he envisions it, but they need to walk away with those first 2 picks probably being a running back and a receiver that are not only good names, but actually turn out to be good players right away if they're going to have a shot to compete next year in that division.
Whenever you have a bunch of needs like the Raiders do, if you have a great opportunity to trade back and get more picks, that's the way to do it. And let me just say this, because I really haven't lost my mind here. Even though, and the ourlads.com, they have a great collection of NFL depth charts that are, immediately updated, and they seem to be 99.9% accurate. So they've got Ramel Caton as a starting receiver for the Raiders. He was undrafted last year out of Tennessee. He played in 8 games with no starts, targeted 3 times, 1 catch for 7 yards. So I don't think I'm the only one that saw that name and heard that name and thought, who's that? So he'll have a chance this year to show us who it is, unless they draft a bunch of receivers and he goes back to second string, third string, or whatever for the Las Vegas Raiders. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.